Welcome back, welcome back. It is currently January 9th. It's Monday. It's 2023. I said that all backwards, but this is episode 7 of Phenix Speaks. Welcome back if you've made it this far. Thank you, because I feel very special to know that you like hearing my voice enough and hearing what I got to say enough to come back and join us for another moment. Um, Today has been a day. It's been a long day for me. Um, I can't say it's been a bad day. Can't say it's really been like a good day. I mean, it's been good for purpose, I'll say. Um, I don't have much time to make this. This is going to be a shorter episode, and I do mean that because I have a meeting. But I had a moment today. I had a conversation today. I had a meeting today, and in this meeting conversation, it was not the best conversation, especially with the person that I was talking to. Um, you know, and I had to release expectations. I had to release my own ego to listen and to not just listen, but actively listen to what was being said. Um, and it took a lot because sometimes you do have to bring yourself back and, really dial yourself back enough to make peace with the moment, with this momentary thing, right? Because you do not want to have a reaction that, you don't feel proud of or just aren't, happy with. But, you want to have something that, makes you feel um, that you can really respect, like something that you really can respect. So, this conversation wasn't um, the best starting off or, during, but I think afterwards I just needed that time to reflect. And in that reflection process, I definitely, I got a lot of peace from what I thought through and what came from those thoughts, right? And the biggest lesson in this whole thing was you will not always be comfortable in certain spaces, right? And so when you talk about any type of space, you can talk about like, your workspace, your home, you know, um, anything really, like literally anything. But one thing's for sure, you will not always be comfortable wherever you are. So let's say, for instance, you're on the bus and you took the bus and um, you're there and you find that you um, let's say that you find that you're on the bus, you find a seat, right? You get on, you find a seat, cool. Found your seat, you're comfortable, or to an extent, because of course not all the bus seats are the most comfortable, but you found, your seat. Okay, now you're here and you got your seat, cool, chilling, and multiple people get on the bus. By this point, you've been on here for about 5 minutes or so. Now there's a lot of people on this bus, and you're like, okay, it's a little crowded, but I'm sitting down, I have a seat, I'm good. But people start to have to crowd around you. They have to stand, by you, and they're holding on to the bar up top, just to keep themselves stable. And now you got people in front of you, right? You might have somebody's butt right in front of your face because how the buses are set up, you might be sitting, and that's how it is. Now, depending on what you choose to do, you can offer somebody your seat. you know, you can get off the bus at some point, whenever, but you got to make it to your stop. So you're like, okay, I gotta weather through the storm. And this is really a moment where you are just uncomfortable. There's not many decisions that you can make at this moment that can make you more comfortable because they'll all put you in a situation where you'll be uncomfortable. If you choose to stand up, you're going to be uncomfortable because now you're standing up for a significant period of time throughout this bumpy bus ride with a lot of people on it. It's not productive for you enough to say that I'm going to stand up and do that. Then, if you get off right now, you are 15 stops away from where you need to be. And now it's another uncomfortable situation because you might have to pay for an Uber or a Lyft or something else that's just not what your initial plans were. So now these situations are just rolling through your mind, but you're uncomfortable in every single situation, even the current situation, right? So what do you do? How you react? Well, 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10, I don't know how you are, but I'm going to sit down. I'm going to stay seated because I'd rather just be sitting down right here and enjoy the rest of the ride and try to put on some headphones and some music and just zone everything out than to overthink this and make it even more harder on myself. But I chose a reaction that fit the uncomfortable state that I was in. And that's how you have to do, because I made peace with that reaction. I got home, right? I didn't have to stand up the whole ride. I didn't have to take another ride to get there. I got home typical way, and I sat down the entire time. Though yes, it was uncomfortable that this person's butt was in my face, and I was not trying to see that right now. You know what I'm saying? I still made a decision that I can respect for myself, and it, even though it was uncomfortable for a good amount of time, you know, I made a decision, had a reaction that I can respect. Consequences are still positive because I made it home. Maybe just not as comfortable as I wanted to. But that's how life is. Sometimes you're going to have uncomfortable moments. So if I had to give any advice to that, take that situation into account, and just think, you're in an uncomfortable situation right now, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job that you just do not like, and whatever it is, choose your uncomfortable moment, because there's many things that you can be. And uncomfortable is typically one of them for a lot of situations. But if you got a job that you don't like, hey, I'm uncomfortable with this job. Okay, what if this job is making me uncomfortable, and how can I change my situation? How can I change my current environment? I can apply for another job, and I got to go through the training process and do this and do that. Oh, I've been in the job for 5 years. There's things. Choose. You have decisions that you can make. You are in full control to make decisions now. There's a privilege in certain decisions, because when it comes to financial aspects of your situation or whatever, those decisions can cost you a little bit more stress or worry, depending on the situation. Because if I'm trying to move somewhere, I don't like where I'm currently living and I need to move, there's privilege in saying that I can get up and move because I have the financial situation to back that up. But if I don't, hey, then what's the decision now, right? So there's a little bit more complexity in certain decisions that need to be made, but understand your uncomfortable situation is not meant to hurt you, it's meant to develop you. Because guess what? By you being on that bus, right? Let's take it back to the bus model example. You on that bus, you're dealing with an uncomfortable situation, cool. That's yours. Own it, right? You will just develop your own strength to make a decision by just deciding to just stay seated, right? You also develop the strength to say, I was able to understand how uncomfortable I was in this situation and choose the comfortability level that I wanted to choose that was best for me in this moment. And you got home. That was good. You got home. You got home in good timing. You didn't have to stand up. Nothing. You made it to your destination. So overall, your goal, it was achieved, even though you were uncomfortable. So wherever you are, whatever you're dealing with, whatever's uncomfortable, analyze that situation, find your solutions, and make your decisions, so that way you can make peace with that. And if you have to stay in your situation, right, as much as uncomfortable as it is, think about it like this. And I have to think about my situation like this. I said, one thing about it, my higher power, God, I said, you were putting me in this situation for a reason and for a purpose. And his purpose is only to develop me further, to help me make certain decisions, to help me figure this stuff out, whatever it could be. There's certain situation I was in and how to react and make my decisions based off of this, right? I understood what it was for. I understood how necessary it was. And I had to make my peace with just what happened in that moment. Whatever else could have went on. And whatever else happened. But I got to make peace with that. And even if I do not understand it, I had to say just enough to say, I can make peace with this, even if I don't understand the full picture as to why I need to go through whatever the situation is. I just made my peace with that. And sometimes you have to do that. And don't think that that's an easy process, because it wasn't. It takes a moment for you to get past your own ego and to say, okay, I'm being guided. Me personally, I'm choosing to be guided divinely in my life, and I'm choosing to submit to that. And in that submission process, I have to remove the ego sometimes just to get past and say, okay, I'm going to make my decision. And my decision is what's best for me in this moment, because even in this uncomfortable space, I found what was comfortable enough, which was the comfortable decision to stay in my seat on that bus. So that's it. I hope that message touched you. If you haven't already, definitely go back and listen to episodes, because if you're on this episode right now and you haven't listened to anything else, you are missing 6 other episodes full of value, full of so many different things. So I've talked about a lot, y'all. I'm currently actually outside of, I didn't give y'all a location this time, so I'm going to do it again. But I'm outside of the office building where I work at. I think my last message was actually outside the same place, so that's funny. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Sun is setting. It's 4:54 currently, but when I started this, I think it was 4:45. It was 4:44 before, and then it was 4:45 by the time I actually started. So wanted to give y'all that time frame so y'all know what time it is because it's hitting the evening time. It's not raining today. It's mad. I feel like a meteorologist trying to tell y'all the weather and everything. Nah, we ain't doing all that. Anyway, that's the message. That's the point. Make sure you go and leave a review on this podcast if you're enjoying your time here. If you aren't, leave a review anyway. I don't care. If you're not enjoying it, let me know. I need to figure out what's going on. Why am I not appeasing your listening, your ears? And if you are not already connected with me, connect with me on social media. Phenix.speaks on Instagram. Phenix Speaks on Twitter. Phenix Speaks on TikTok. Phenix is spelled Phenix speaks, not Phoenix with an O. Phoenix, no O. All right. I have to explain that to y'all one day. I think I said that earlier on in some of the episodes, and I never did. But I will explain what Phoenix is, what that means, why I chose that name. There's a lot of background to that. That might be the next episode. We'll see. So yeah, that's the end of the podcast. I hope y'all have an amazing morning, afternoon, evening. If you're going about to go to sleep and you're just listening to me, thank you for allowing me to be your last voice of the day. And that's it. Peace, love, Phoenix.